Game on.
Hey there, game gurus. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a little while. I haven't been posting a lot of videos as of late, but I've been really tied up in the Kickstarter here. So we have the GRS Build-A-Cade FU went live on Kickstarter on June 25th. We hit our goal of $200,000 in literally just under 7 minutes. And now we're currently standing at $421,889 with 217 backers. Congratulations to you backers out there. We still have 49 days to go before we close up this Kickstarter and start building these FUs for you, the people who back the Kickstarter. And that's why I thought I'd do this video right now. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Viper, Viper Venom, some of the software side of the Build-A-Cade FU. As the days progress, we will be doing more and more content on the FU, its features, the build itself. But today we're going to concentrate on the GRS Viper and the Viper Venom. I get a lot of questions about that still because no one watches my channel. If people watch my channel, you know something about it. But if you're not currently subscribed, you're looking at this video, please subscribe and click the notifications so you will get more information on the Build-A-Cades, Build-A-Cade FU, other GRS products like the Viper Venom, Akari Warrior Stick, Star Wars, and so many things we still have planned. But I digress. As usual, Glenn goes way off topic. So this is usually how I do my videos. It's kind of like by the hip. I don't do a script. I don't do anything like that. I kind of sit down and kind of just do it for good and bad. But again, I do want to thank so much for everyone who has sent such amazing, kind words to me about my products and what they feel I do for the community. And that's what the Build-A-Cade FU is for. It's for you, for, I would say the community, but it's a you. But it is for you. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today is the Viper. So you can see on this screen I have down here, I have some things. And I'm going to go over some of the different parts that are on it and so forth. But let's get started. So again, thank you so much for everyone who backed the Kickstarter. We do have a number of super early bird specials still available for the most inexpensive version, the $9.99. There's not many left, but all of these are an amazing price and value for what you get. But we'll go more into that in another video. Today, let's talk about the Viper itself. So let's get this off screen. So we can see right now we have two things right here. Now this is the original Viper. I'm gonna bring up right if I get on the screen here. There we go. Shooting from the hip, remember. So this is the original Viper. This runs an RK3566 chipset, and you can see we have a Wi-Fi antenna on here. We have a cooling system. We have a 12-volt in for power. We have a DSI display port here for using a screen, which I have actually right now on the Viper Venom. This is the GRS Build-A-Cade screen, and it works perfectly fine. And you see on the original Viper, we have two standard USB ports, a USB 3 port here. We have the mini camera. There we go. The micro display port for HDMI. We have USB-C for power and also loading firmware and stuff like that. We have a headphone jack out as well. We have 40 GPIO pins here, general input output pins. On the underside, we also have a micro SD card slot right there. So, you know, the standard Viper here, if I get it in the camera, there we go. This has 2 gigabytes of working RAM, but also 32 gigabytes of onboard eMMC storage. So you can, as I'll show you in the video, you can download games directly onto the Viper itself. You don't need external storage. You can use just what's there. However, you can connect if you wanted to external storage. You just, plug in a USB stick, like that. Horrible with my camera angles. I got too many cameras. But a USB stick like that. You can also use a micro SD card, obviously, in the micro SD card slot down there. Or you can see right here, I have actually a 2 terabyte hard drive here with what I call the Bobby Vu drive. So Bobby Vu had actually made an image for the Viper. I don't know if he actually released it, but this is 2 terabytes of games that Bobby Vu had created, and that's just going into an external drive enclosure. So you can use, again, a micro SD card slot, as big as you want, a USB drive, flash drive, or hard disk, things along those lines. And of course, if other storage becomes available, try and update the drivers to make sure that you get the latest and greatest on there. And that's the other beautiful thing about the Viper and the Viper Venom is that we run the Arcade OS. And the beautiful thing about the Arcade OS is as updates become available, you don't need to completely format a new SD card. You don't have to wipe everything out. It'll be alerted right on screen when an update's available. And you say, okay, yeah, let's do the update now. ask you if you want to back it up. Now, personally, I've never backed mine up. I know it's bad boy, but I never had a problem upgrading. But the right thing to say is do the backup first and then do the upgrade. But even if the upgrade, let's say something was to happen, we have multiple ways to get in the operating system on there. So if there's a problem, the firmware gets corrupt somehow, again, is perfect. There are ways we can load the Arcade OS from a micro SD card or over multiple ways to make sure that the operating system is always running smoothly. Now, with any SBC or computer, you always should make sure you shut it down normally, safe shutdown. But the Vipers, being the single board computers that they are, people do generally just turn them off, and usually that is okay. There's always is the possibility of something getting corrupted, and if that's the case, again, very easy to put that on there. So again, the original Viper is running the RK35 66. Right? RK35 66. Yes, got to make sure. So many things in my head. And it's pretty powerful. It's got a really good graphics chip in there. It's got 2 GB of RAM. I would put it between Raspberry Pi 3 and 4 as far as performance goes. It performs better on some games than others, just like any computer. But that is what we really launched for the this 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade, which you can see I got a bunch of them sitting behind me right there. I love my Build-A-Cades. I think I have the largest 1/6 scale collection, and I'm very proud of that. I love my Build-A-Cades. But the Build-A-Cade FU is the bigger brother, right? So going from a 1/6 scale to literally a full-size arcade machine, not a quarter scale, not 1/6 scale, 3/4 scale, no, full scale. So with that, we are going to be releasing the RK3588 chipset, and that's known as the Viper Venom. So the Viper Venom is actually much more powerful than the standard Viper. Not that the regular Viper is a bad thing, but they have different spots they go. The regular Viper is going to use less power, obviously, than the Viper Venom with the RK3588 chipset. And like as I said, the standard Viper performance-wise, between a Pi 3 and 4, again, depending on the emulator. Whereas the Viper Venom with the RK3588 chipset, you can look it up yourself. The processor, the RAM, throughputs, the connecting capabilities, the cores, everything is much more powerful than a Raspberry Pi 5. So as far as performance goes, the RK3588 Viper Venom will be superior performance-wise than a Raspberry Pi 5. But like anything, it depends on the software, right? So the software's got to be optimized for it. You have to have the right drivers in there, and that's something we're always working and always will work to improve. But right now, I'm going to show you the preliminary operating system we have for the Viper Venom. This is one of the very first pre-production models. So the good thing about this is you get an idea of what to expect. But again, we're not going to be releasing the FU until pretty much February of 2026. So we'll have plenty of time to critique the operating system. And the beautiful thing here, once again, is the arcade OS on both of these will probably be pretty much in sync. So this is running version 2.05 on the standard Viper, and then the Viper Venom is actually running 2.05 as well, but we have to do some optimization. So as you load the arcade operating system, it would kind of know which one it's going into, and we'll go through some of the features here that's on it. So Glenn really rambles on, but I want you guys just to understand that we're really trying to put a lot of thought into this. Again, I am a gamer. I've been a gamer since the first time I picked up a Magnavox Odyssey in 1972 at 3 years old, and I've been in love with them ever since. So I have a real passion about these things, how I want it to be for myself, and I just hope that what I want for myself is the same thing that other people would want. Now, I am a retro gamer, so I'm gonna make sure I'm clear on that. So my most modern console is an Xbox 360. That's kind of where I stopped. I prefer the older systems. That doesn't mean that people who enjoy newer systems won't enjoy this, because we'll get into that as well. But now let's take a look real quick about the Viper Venom. So you can see, first of all, when you compare it to the standard Viper here, the Viper Venom is smaller. In fact, it's pretty much the same size as a Raspberry Pi 3, Raspberry Pi 4, maybe even a smidgen smaller. I haven't actually set them side by side, but by looking at this right here, you can see that it's substantially smaller than the Viper Venom that we have right here. But the that size doesn't always mean performance. There's a lot more power baked into this here, but it is smaller. And the beautiful thing about the Viper Venom on its size means you could, in theory, and not in theory, you can, put it inside your standard Build-A-Cade. If you want to upgrade your Build-A-Cade for some heavy emulators to run on a 1/6 scale machine, the Viper Venom would fit inside the standard Build-A-Cade case, which is a good thing. Okay, so we're gonna move the regular Viper over side for a second. We'll go over some of the ports. So you can see on the standard Viper, we have the 40-pin GPIOs. We have the same 40-pin GPIOs here on the standard Venom. And right now it is connected to a display here. I'm just gonna lift this up together just to get it out of the way. Maybe makes it a little bit closer to you guys on the camera if I get it close there. There we go. So now the regular Viper had two standard USB 2s, one USB 3, and a USB-C. But if I go over here, we can see we have one USB 3.0 and then standard USB 2.0 ports, but we have a total of four. We've also included Ethernet on this one. The standard Viper, you had to use a micro USB or a USB adapter to get standard Ethernet, but we included that here already, right there. We have on the underside here, you can see we have the micro SD card slot, right? I got too many, not enough fingers here. There we go. So we have right here the micro USB card slot, and we have our display connector on the bottom. You can see I have right there. And we also have the same phono out you would have for like a headset if you needed to do something along those lines. Let's turn this thing back over again. So again, we have our Ethernet USB ports, 40-pin GPIOs on there. On this side over here, we have our USB-C power right here. We have our micro display port for HDMI and a standard USB-C connector right there. Now, right now on this particular version, which I'm going to try and flip this thing back down again. Here we go, like so. Right now we're using passive cooling, just a heat sink on there, but we're probably going to going with a fan heat sink in the future, just to make sure we always keep the temperature down, because the 3588 is a very powerful chip, does generate some heat, but right now we're just using a passive cooling on that. And there's some other functions and features on the Venom. We see we're going with a dual antenna on the Venom versus the single antenna here on this one. But again, there is at this time on this pre-production unit, we're going from 2 GB of RAM on the regular Viper to 4 GB. Not set in stone. It could be more. Probably will not be less. Probably 4 GB would be the minimum, but we might go up higher. Also on the standard Viper, it was 32 GB of onboard eMMC. On the Venom, right now it's 64 GB, but it could go up to 128. Again, not set in stone. We have time before production goes into line, but I wouldn't say it wouldn't be anything smaller than 64 GB of onboard eMMC. So once again, the operating system and games can be downloaded directly onto the machine. You do not need external storage. However, you can. You can still use a micro SD card slot. You can still use USB hard drive or a thumb type drive. Storage solutions pretty much will work there as well. Now, right now on the screen right here, what you're seeing is a standard Viper with a welcome screen. So I'm just going to go on it real quick. Now, you can use Bluetooth controllers. This is a Bluetooth controller right here, but I'm sitting right next to it, and I want to kind of show you like a basic system. Other videos come down, we'll show other things like Bluetooth, and I've done videos on that already. If you want to check out my channel, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and you can look at the videos where I'm using Bluetooth on the Viper. But right now I'm just going to connect a clone cheap. I think I paid $7 to $10 on this on Amazon. Just a little Xbox clone controller. And I'm going to plug it to any one of these ports. I'll pick this one right here because why not? Like so. And once you connect it, it recognizes that a controller was connected. I'm just going to go through a couple things in the regular Viper after I take a drink of my soda here because Coke gives a smile and keeps my voice from crackling, I guess. Good stuff. So we'll go through some of the emulators that are on here. Now, right now you can see there's no external storage on the Viper. You can see it's right here. It's a little bit out of camera shot. I can just probably tilt this a little bit. There we go. So this is a standard Viper. This is using a passive heatsink. It's one of my early versions of it. But it still gives you an idea of the arcade OS. So when you first turn on the arcade OS in the Viper, for the very first time, you're going to come up to just pretty much Kodi, movie player, and audio player. That's all that's going to be built into the system. And then there is a icon for downloading the emulators. So you need to accept the license agreement saying you understand this is an emulated machine, read through the whole license agreement. Once you agree to that license agreement, it'll download the current build with the emulators built in. So we'll go through real quick here. These are just some that are on here, including you could surf the internet. If you go over to Wagners Tech Talk, he did a nice video about the Viper as well. You can look at pictures. But here are just some of the emulators built in. Now, originally on the older versions of the Arcade OS, the Panasonic 3DO didn't work very well on the standard Viper. They have upgraded the emulator and some backend stuff to where now 3DO works okay. Now, which I'm thankful, I love 3DO on the standard Viper, but of course it works really, really well on the Viper Venom. Of course, you have the Amiga 600, 1200, the Commodore Amiga CD32, CDTV, Amstrad, all these different machines here where you can get the games. Now, a lot of people ask me all the time, Glenn, well, how do I get the games? I'm not very confident. I need them. I need an easy way to get these games on there. Now, again, we'll get again into that in this video, but basically a lot of these, not all, a lot of these will be available to download directly. Again, when you go to the game downloader, we'll go through that screen. There's a little screen. You have to say, yep, I agree to the license agreement. I agree I'm entitled to these particular games. And you can then download them directly. Again, not all of them, but a lot of them are. The other games you can get from other sources, and you can put them on a micro SD card slot or an external hard drive, and you can copy them onto the onboard eMMC, or just basically keep them on the external storage and load them that way. Because you can select from the internal eMMC and an external drive at the same time. So you can still get to all the games you want in there. You can see we're still going through the list of different systems that are supported. And again, more emulators will come down in the future. This right now is, as far as the arcade operating system, with us, it's a new thing. So I'm giving my ideas of what we should have, and of course they've already had some of their ideas. Now the Jaguar is listed here. It doesn't work very well on the standard Viper, but it works pretty well on the Venom. But again, that's all also comes down to the emulator itself, how well optimized the emulator is. But again, Atari Lynx, of course, you have MAME. You have to have MAME. You have Sega. We're still going through the list. So there's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands upon thousands of different games you'll have on here. Now, Moonlight's kind of cool because with Moonlight, you can stream your Steam account. So if you have Steam, you can stream it right over to the Viper or the Viper Venom. Works on both. And you can play games you had on Steam and stream them over to the Viper. And we're still going through all these different systems that are on here. And again, when you're playing this, uh, the emulators are also part of the performance and how well the video game works itself. So as these emulators always get updated, we try and keep on top of them as well. But all the retro stuff for sure works extremely, extremely well, including N64 works really, really well. We're having some fun playing Mario 64 on that, on both Vipers. And we're still going through now the GameCube and Wii, we'll get into those. They will show up on both the Viper and the Viper Venom. But in all honesty, the Venom is really needed for GameCube. It works very well, and Wii works very well on the Venom. On the standard Viper, the performance is really not there. Maybe we can come up with some ways for frame skip, but to be honest, for GameCube, PS2, Wii, those type of systems, you really want to have the Venom. But we're still going through some of the old systems on here. Open Boars, fun. All these systems still here. Of course, we get to the PC Engine, one of my favorite systems of all time, including the CD-ROM, PCFX. Again, PSP works very well on both systems. PlayStation obviously works great on both systems. Now, when you get to games like Quake, Quake 2, Quake 3, Doom, um, those type of games, the other beautiful thing about the Viper and the Viper Venom, it runs at its core emulation station. So you can link people online and play, join games, people playing, or you start one with your friends, which is kind of cool. You can have a 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade and your friend and hook up to a TV set if you wanted to, and you have a full-size FU across the country, and you guys can play each other. Or if you're just running emulation station on another system, you can join. Scum, a lot of great games in here. I love Scum. I'm a big, huge Maniac Mansion, Zach McCracken fan. Of course, there's a lot of others here like King's Quest, Space Quest. All those games are in there. Sega Saturn, again, does work on both, but the Venom obviously will give you a much more frame rate and performance, but it does work on both. We just upgraded the core and some features in that. The SG-1000, still going through systems here. Supergraph, unfortunately, didn't last very long. It's the second generation of the PC Engine, and we're still going through the list. We're getting close to the end, though. And there's some systems, again, you didn't see in here because we haven't enabled them yet. But again, as uh, the Arcade OS improves, we'll be adding emulators to it. Now, if you didn't see an emulator here that is not there, you don't have to really worry, especially with the FU. You can still connect, again, you can stream through Moonlight, or you can connect a PC and get any of the emulators that are not in here to work inside your FU. But in all honesty, for what I wanted it to be for a lot of these older game systems, the Viper and the Viper Venom are going to work very, very well. So one of the questions people ask all the time is, well, Glenn, how do I get games? And like I said, if you have a collection ready, you can a lot of times put them on a micro SD card or a thumb drive or a hard drive and get them over that way. But there is a built-in game downloader. So I'm going to go into the menu right now and go down to where do I go past right? Game settings. Not wearing my glasses. I wasn't need my glasses. So you can see right here, there's all these different options. I'm not going to go through all these options. We'll be making more videos, and actually other content partners like Wagners Tech Talk are making videos as well. But you can see right down here, if you go into game, I'll go back in so you can see it again. You don't have to be on menu. You can go anywhere, but just press start. And you go to the game settings and just press up once and twice in joystick. Go up, up, and you go to Game Downloader. So Game Downloader is something that's built in. Now you're going to see a listing here of all these different systems. Again, not all of these are available for direct download at this time, but a lot of them are. So you have to go into each one and try and pick this. Just to say one that isn't here. If I click on, this is the Commodore VIC-20. If I click on that one, it says right here, the downloadable games are not hosted by Arcade or GRS, neither one of us. They are downloaded directly from public available websites. Okay, we're not associated with them in any way, shape, or form. Arcade and its affiliates are not legally responsible for how you choose to use the game downloader. That is up to you guys. Do you agree that you will only download the games that you are legally entitled to? So this is your conscience on you guys, not on us in any way, shape, or form. Click agree to that. You can see right now, this one does not have anything online to download. So it'll give you right there, you'll know you have to find other means to get those particular games. But they're all over the place. But as an example, I'll pick something real easy here. Let's pick like Atari 7800. Click on that one. Same agreement. Every time you go to download, you're going to have to go through this agreement and say, I agree. And it's going to search. And right now you have three options. You can select games to download, where to save the device. Now, right now I only have the internal space on the Viper. There's no external hard drive. So it's only going to go to the internal space. So I'm going to go up here to select games. So when you go to that, it'll give you a listing of games that are available that you can download. Now, you can go and right here and just select all, and it'll download all the games if you're entitled to all of them. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to select none, and I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to pick, say, just Junior Pac-Man. Just pick Junior Pac-Man, and I'm now going to go down to, oops, back, and you can see I have one game I selected to download. I'm going to download this selected game, and right now it's going to go online, find the game, scrub it for graphics information, take a quick drink here, and then I reload the game list. And you can see right now, there is Junior Pac-Man. I already downloaded these other games to the internal storage, but you saw I just downloaded Junior Pac-Man. It's right there. If I click on it right now, it'll launch the game, and it is now on board the internal storage, the internal eMMC that's on the machine. And that's all you do. That's all you have to do to get the game downloaded from the online repositories. Again, we're not affiliated with them, but you can still get games. I'm going to show you when you go to the Venom here. We'll show you the external hard drive, how we do that. So that's the basic gist. Now, I'm going to exit the game here real quick. And we'll go through some of the menu options here on the Viper, only because that one's connected right now. I am going to connect the Venom in a moment. So I'm just going to go back out of here, back out. And if I go back into the main menu here, so you could switch to Kodi if you want to watch just movies. Now, there is a movie player built in as well. So there's actually a folder on the internal storage, or you could put in a movie folder on the external storage. Again, take a look over at Wagners Tech Talk. I'll put a link down below his video that shows you how to make the drive. It's very easy to do. But you can just put movies on there and play them directly. But you can go into Kodi if you want. There's also a thing called NetPlay Lobby. So in NetPlay Lobby, that'll be other people who are already playing games online right now at this particular moment. And you can join if they have an opening. You can join one of their active games, or you can set one up yourself and have a friend join you in your game. So that's also built in. Game settings, go in there real quick. All different things for the menu that we have right here. So some stuff, most people are not going to touch any of these things. But the good thing about Arcade is all these options are pretty much a selection. You go into the menu, pick it, turn it on, turn it off, all these different things. And we'll go back on that. We have UI settings. We can change how the games play. I like the detailed one. Some people like the carousel. I'm not a fan of the carousel. I'd rather just see a listing of games. That's up to you. There's all different things you can change in here, like the announcement text. Like right in the top of the screen, it says GRS Viper Arcade, all fun, no work. You could change that if you wanted to change that. Different themes. Right now, it is set to the arcade theme. They have that in carbon. And right now, the arcade themes are for arcade. Like you can't take one from a Raspberry Pi, at least not yet. So one of the things we hope to do in the future is allow themes for the Raspberry Pi to work in arcade. This way, if you do have a theme you liked on the Pi, bring it over. Not promising it, but it is something that is kind of being looked at, or at least will be looked at in the future. Uh, your clock, 12 or 24 hour, how you want the games listed, all these different options. So there's tons and tons of things. Swapping the A and B buttons, that's only in the menu. It's not going to be an emulator. You can set that up in the emulator with the controllers anyway. Different types of filters. And you can disable the kiosk mode so kids can't make changes to it. If you're afraid your little ones are going to start messing all the options around, you can turn that on with a code, like a password, so people can't go in and change it, which is kind of nice to do. Then we have system settings in here. Now, one of the cool things about arcades, there is this built-in support menu. So right now, if I was to go inside here, it tells me I'm running 2.0.5 of the operating system, the kernel version, which is like the ultimate DNA of the operating system. How much memory is available, what's in use, swap space, internal space, CPU temperature, all that stuff is available right there. There's also this thing called debug logging. Now, right now, it's off. So if you're experiencing something weird in the operating system, the team may say, listen, generate a support file. You do that here. So you would turn this on and reboot the machine, go and try and simulate the problem you were having. And when you find it, you generate that file, send it off to them, and then they can look at the code and see what's going wrong. That helps them a lot. So you can see right below that is the generate support file. And that'll put it right on top of the machine. You can take that and send it over to the team, usually on their Discord. Now you can also, if you think there's something wrong with the file system, you can go inside here and do a check. You could also, if you think something's corrupted on the machine, but you can get to this point, you can have it say, listen, hey, download the last release. It'll go on, put the latest version of this case 2.05 back on the machine. You can go right down here. If you say, listen, I want you to wipe this thing out. I want to start from a completely clean slate and start again. Click on that. The last version of the operating system you have on there, in this case 2.05, it would wipe it completely clean as if we just took it out of the box and go there. And then it's just about arcade, and it's about the license agreement, about arcade and acknowledgments. So there's a bunch of different things there. Of course, there's network settings, and that's where you can set up your Wi-Fi. Both the standard Viper and the Venom have a Wi-Fi built in. The Venom obviously does have the RGA 35 45 connector, sorry, on there, so you could connect that over Ethernet if you wanted to. The regular Viper, you can do that, but you need a dongle, USB dongle, USB-C dongle to do that. External device actions. So right now it is set to on to auto mount. So if I connect a drive to it, it'll say, oh, okay, there's a drive connected. It'll automatically connect it, scan the drive. We're not going to do that in here. We're going to do that on the Venom. We'll show you that on the Venom. But you just connect it and we'll go through the drive and do all that. You can also, if you have a shared network directory where your ROMs are located, maybe you have a NAS drive at home with all the ROMs, you can go to that and point it to that location there. Then it's accessory settings. So again, the Arcade operating system is integrating a lot of the GRS products and many other products, not just GRS, but definitely GRS products in the system. So if you have the GRS TOS gate restrictors, which you will have in the Build-A-Cade FU, you can turn that on. And what that basically means is if you play Pac-Man, it'll rotate gates at the bottom of the joystick to make it a four-way joystick. So when you're playing Pac-Man, you can't go up, down, left, and right. The diagonals are blocked. But then when you go to play, say, Defender, you want to have all eight-way. So it'll then switch to eight-way mode, so the joystick will work in all eight directions, no restrictions. That's built in. And of course, bit pixel support and pixel-cade support. So if you're running in your custom Viper or Viper Venom in a custom setup, you can use either one of those. The FU, there was a specific one designed for the FU by Al Linky, and that is in the Kickstarter. It's noted there. I'll put a link down below in this video here if you want to take a look. A standard one will not work on the FU. It is a custom screen size. Now, if you had a larger one or a smaller one, you want to put it on top of the FU and keep the light-up marquee that we have there. Of course, you could do that. It'll support it. But if you want it to look like the marquee is the marquee, that is a custom one to get through Al Linky. But it's really nice when you pick a game to see that game at the top of the screen, or doing other things like stock markets. He has all these different options you could do in his display there. Of course, there's case scripts that's not for me, but it has scripting. I don't do scripting. I haven't done scripting since probably, God, 81, 82 in BASIC. So I'm not going to do anything like that. And then, of course, how do you want the bit pixel to display its states and pixel cade, all that stuff over here. Bang. Now, if I go into the controller area, input settings here, so if we click on this one, if you connect a new controller, you will tell it what buttons and what joysticks go to where. But what I really like about it, and I always had a problem, excuse me, taking my drink. When I was using a Raspberry Pi, I never was able to get my Bluetooth controllers to connect. I really couldn't get that to work. But I know that the arcade team's done some special stuff in there on their arcade OS, and just click on that, and I never had a problem pairing a controller with it. So you can pair a wireless controller. And you can see right now, you can definitely have easily 4 controllers connected. Right now, it is showing my wired Xbox controller right here, but you can have all kinds of controllers connected and tell it which controller goes to which particular player. Of course, you also have a keyboard, especially doing like web surfing. We have a web portal built in. If you want to surf the web, you need a keyboard and mouse for that. But if you want to certain games, especially games for like Scum, which is like a point and click adventure, sometimes you got to type in like Zork, you got to type in stuff. You need a keyboard, things like that. Of course, we absolutely support light guns, trackballs, mice, and spinners. So of course, the GRS trackballs and spinners, push-pull spinners, the Akari stick, uh, are as a flight yoke are all supported, and of course light guns. So definitely Sinden and the GRS Sinden Target Pro absolutely work. I will put a list down below in another video. Other light guns supported, including if you have like a Wii. You want to emulate the Wii. I believe Wii remotes do work. You could probably use a Wii remote again as a gun. Um, so always adding controls to it, but definitely spinners, trackball, steering wheels from GRS will work here on your FU and other systems. But I'll leave that to the arcade team to really define what they are. But pretty much, if it is a spinner or a trackball, if it's seen as an HID mouse, it's going to work because it just treats it as a mouse. Light guns, there are a number of different ones supported, but I'll put that in another video which ones they are. I know there's quite a few, but definitely GRS Sinden and the Sinden and the GRS Sinden Target Pro absolutely do work. You can set up different profiles and different advanced settings. So there's a bunch of stuff you could do in here. So I've done a lot of talking here on the regular Viper. So what I'm going to do right now, let's disconnect the Viper here, and let's connect the Viper Venom and show you a little bit more, because that's probably what you're watching this for anyway. So let's just shut this thing down the right way. I'm going to quit, and I'm going to tell it to shut down and say yes. And while that's shutting down, I will take another drink. And it looks like we're turned off here. So I'm going to disconnect everything here. I'm going to take this controller off, move it over here, and I'm going to disconnect this HDMI just because I think it'll be easier. And power. Come on, power. There we go. So I've disconnected everything from this Viper, and you can see right here, this is my early version. Move that to the side over here. And we're going to try and connect this one now. I'm going to try and keep it in the angle. I wanted to show you on both displays here, but I have a very tight area here, and I'm not sure if this cable is long enough. So we'll try and do as best we can with all this. So I'm going to connect the HDMI, and I got to get my power back here, and my controller back here. Let's put the controller over on this port here, if I can. Just don't want this thing to fly off the table on me. And we'll plug in our power. Once I plug in power, this thing should come to life. This is our first one here is our power. There we go. And this again is the display that would be used on a Build-A-Cade. And let's give it a few seconds. There we go. Powered on. It's initializing. You can see the display is working here, and it's also working there. It's going to switch to 1 in a moment, but we can switch back and forth manually. But if you do want to put this in a GRS Build-A-Cade, and you take out the regular Viper or Pi you have in there, you could definitely throw this in there and be good. And of course, make sure the audio is on, because Glenn always forgets to turn on the damn audio. You always know it's me if the audio's got a little problem. So you can see right now it deactivated this screen right here, and it's displaying on the external HDMI out. It's loading everything up. And there's our menu. So the entire Viper video before had the audio off. So you're hearing this music back there too. So again, you'll always know it's me if there's audio problems. When audio works perfectly, it's probably AI generated. So I'll show you a couple things here on the regular Viper Venom here. Regular Viper, the Viper Venom. So you can see right here, it looks the same. So that's the good thing about this is that the operating system is going to be universal, and how it looks and operates between the two. Obviously, the Viper Venom with the RK3588 will be a lot more powerful, but you still have the same experience. Once you know one, you'll kind of know the other. So I'm going to show you something real quick here. So right now I am showing you the Venom on the external HDMI. So it could be played on the 19-inch rotating screen, the 26-inch Unico screen, or any display you want to connect it to. But if I go under here and I go under System Settings, Video Settings, you can see right now I can click on this. Now on the Build-A-Cade, it kind of automatically detects. So that'll probably be fixed here as well. So if you plugged in this screen, it would automatically go to the screen. You can still manually change it, but we want that to be kind of automatic. But for right now, I'm going to do manual. I'm going to pick the DSI screen, go back, and it's going to apply those settings, and it will disappear from there, and it should then appear down here on this screen, and there it is. And it's asking me if I want to keep it like this for right now. I'm going to say no, because I do want you guys to see a little bit better than I'm seeing it. But I just want to show you that you can use the DSI screen as well as the HDMI screen. Now, the regular Viper supported 4K video playback. So having a 4K TV set, obviously, it would play in that. The standard Build-A-Cade screen is not a 4K. This little screen is not a 4K at all. It's a 640 by, I think, 320, 400 screen. So that's what you're going to get on that. Now, even the standard 19-inch screen, the Build-A-Cade, is only 1080p. So you're not going to get 4K output. But I just want to let you know that the Viper supported 4K output. The Venom actually can support 8K output. But again, the screens that could be in the machines are not going to support that. I just want you to know it's powerful enough where it could do that if you want to put an external display on there. But you can see right here, we have the same different menu options. I'm going to go back in here. You can switch to Kodi. You go to the game settings, go up 1, 2, and there is, once again, that game downloader. And of all those different systems on here, again, not all of these are online, but a lot of them are, and you can definitely pick them. I could say go to, I don't know, pick someone here. Let's say the Game Boy. I'm going to agree to that. I definitely have Game Boy games, so I'm not worried about that. So again, you can go in here and you can do the same thing. You can select all different games. Let's find one that actually I have. I wish I had better eyes like I used to when I was younger, but we all age. Asteroids. So I'm going to pick Asteroids right there. And you see I got the little check mark on it. Now I have to go back up or down, which, you know, it's going to take a second to go scroll through the list either way. There we go. I'm going to go back. And now I can save to internal. Again, I don't have an external drive hooked up yet, so it's going to go to the internal space. Download game. Nice and quick. Downloaded. Now I'm going to go back here. And if I go to the Game Boy, see, when you have a lot of emulators, it takes a while to find them. Where is my Game Boy? Did I miss it? Oh, I have to refresh. I don't think I refreshed. Refresh game list. Game Boy Advance. Was the Game Boy Advance picked? It was. Okay. I thought it was for the regular Game Boy, so actually I don't have this one for the Game Boy. But you can see it did download the game, so I'll make sure I get rid of that one later. I picked the wrong system. Game Boy Advance. Okay, so we have Dreamcast games built in. I can see right now, this is what's showing on the machine. So I'm just going to launch it just so you guys can kind of see the Dreamcast game and get an idea of how that plays. Now, Dreamcast plays just as fine on the regular Viper, but I'm going to show it real quick here. I'm going to mute my mic so I can drink a little bit. Dreamcast is one of my all-time favorite machines. Even to this day, I think that the graphic capabilities of it, for a machine that's, what, 26 years old, 27 years old, is really good. I think it holds up better than PS2, in my opinion. I mean, look at that. That's from 1998. 1998. I'll try playing around, but again, I'm not a fighter kind of guy. But let's give it a try. I'm just a button masher. That's all that's going to happen. Ah! Ooh! I don't know how I did that, but I like it. Lady's got the legs. Oh, I won a battle. So, again, the video might not be totally smooth for you because obviously I'm going through a HDMI encoder on my side, but it should be running exactly the same it would be on the system. So that's some Dreamcast games, and she's laughing up like a fox. Look at that. So come back out of here. And go back again. So all the systems I want to show you, let's see here. Let's just do a Nintendo action here. Um, da, da, da. Actually, I want to do Mario. I haven't played any of these games. So when I hook up the external hard drive, I'll show you Mario. What we have it here? I have it in the disk system. There we go. No, I thought I had it. It's a me, a Mario. Disc version. So we're using, we have our Xbox controller right here. Nice and smooth. Again, these type of games I was never really good at. I'm definitely better at the old games, but this was a very fun game, I admit. When this first came out, it was like the only game you can get for the N64. I went to Toys R Us, and it was the only game you could get, and it kept you very entertained for sure. Let's go get some Bowser action. Whoa, 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 whoa! I can try and jump. Eh. Oh, we can never do that. Yeah, laugh it up, Mr. Bowser. No, don't fall off. Okay. Oh, no, don't jump off the edge, you dum-dum. Oh. Oh, here we go again. When you're watching me play a game, you're going to watch me for a while. Oh, oh. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Ah, ah. Woo. Mm. Eh. Oh, how did I screw that up? How do I get up here? Can I get up here? Oh, oh, oh. Ah, get up. I made it. Now, can I get Bowser? That's the question. Oh, fall down, you dum-dum. Oh, no, grab his tail. Ha ha! Ha ha ha! No, got him. Woo! So that's some N64 on there. See, it runs very, very well. Doo, doo, doo. Let's go back a level. GameCube. I think I've got one game installed here. I never played this one, but we'll try it out and see how it goes. No idea how to start it, but we'll figure it out. No. Oop, did I just reset the game? Press start. Quick race. Sure. Automatic finish for sure. No idea which button is which. Oh, no. Oh, there's gas. Oh, oh, oh. Oh yeah, I'll go right in the middle. Yeah, that's smart. Let's back that up. Oh, I want to go that way. Shoot. So I think I'm not sure if this one's playing audio or not, but I'm not sure if that's on my end or the system. But if it is the system, we'll get that worked out. But you can see as far as the frame rate in video goes, it is working excellent. My driving habits are not though. Never said I could drive very well. Ah! Oh, brother. Oh, I've been following the signs. I'm sure I'm quite in the last place. Turned way too early. Auto insurance is going to be very expensive for me. All right, let's see what else we got here. You have to keep watching me play a really bad game. Let's go back a level. Let's see what we have here. Again, I know everyone plays this game. I never really played it, but we'll give it a shot. May we? I don't know if you actually need a Wii controller connected. I'm going to try and use my Xbox controller here. We'll see. He's awfully happy. That's what I like about the old school games. Just you reset it and you played, not all this other stuff. So let's see. I'm not sure which controls it's going to be. We'll find out. Not that one, not that one, not that one. That's turning. Oh, I guess that started it. That's backwards. That's forwards. Oh, I don't know how to I guess I got to set up the controller for steering. I'll go that way. Maybe hold the control this way, maybe? Let's say. Oh, that way. There we go. So again, these are the preliminary that we still going to be doing some adjustments on. I know the audio is not working in this one either, but that will be fixed, and we'll also get a little more frame rate out of it as well. I guess it could be a fun game. Again, I don't play these games very much. I'm more of an older gamer, but this is looks like it could be fun, especially with multiple people playing the game. Let's back out of this, and let's see about adding a ton of games going through an external hard drive. So right now, again, we have all these ports under here. I'm going to turn the power on to this, like so. Let that spin up because it's a hard drive. Let it spin up. Let's get this connected here. We'll back out. It should detect the drive being connected. There it is. Now it's a big 2 terabyte hard drive, so it's got to scan it. It'll take a few seconds. It's going to ask if you want to reload the game list. I'm going to say yes. Okay, so now if I was to go back into here, you can see there's the game we were just showing off, the Mario Kart. But now, in addition to what's on the internal, because that Mario Kart is on the internal eMMC, you now see external USB. If you click on that one, you see now we have all these different games listed here. So if you have them already, you can just put them on a drive and bring them over in the directory structure. Again, look at Wagners Tech Talk's video. I'll put a link down below to that. So if I go over here, let's see what we have here. Nothing on the internal, but I have a bunch of games here on the external. GameCube, N64, external. All these games for N64 are listed here. So these are all games. If you have them, you can bring them over. We have a couple on the internal, a bunch of games here on the external. Again, that could be done through the game downloader, or you could bring it over yourself through these type of collections. These are on the internal. Oops, go back. No. Launched the game by accident. We'll go back out of here real quick. Escape out of that. Go back in. New Geo Pocket, external. So you can see that says, if I can just go side to side, external, do that as well. Go to the next one, external, external, external. So you can see how easy it is to get games on here. Again, right now this is running the standard Viper 2.0, I'm sorry, 2.0.5 build that's been enhanced to function on the RK35 chipset. So there's a lot of updates and to the back end, the drivers, the audio drivers, uh, things like that are going to be done in time for the launch of the FU. But even after the launch, there will be further updates to enhance the different capabilities that are possible with the RK3588 chipset. So again, I want to thank all of you for watching this video. I want to thank all the current Kickstarters as of today is what, July 6th. So as of July 6th, we have 217 backers at 421,889 backers. So we've more than doubled our goal of 200,000. So I want to thank all of you um, for the FU. And again, the full-size unit, the Build-A-Cade FU, your unit, we still have some of these early bird specials here. It looks like we have 69 backers of the 999 out of 100. So there's 31 of these left. So you wanted to get in with the standard rotating, which is what I want, the 19-inch electronic rotating with the ultimate control panel. That is going to be $9.99 plus shipping. 31 of those left. On the 26-inch, people wanted that Unico display. 56 have been purchased, which leaves 44 of 100 left. And again, on both of those, you not only get the full-size FU, you also get a 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade. That one you can purchase a separate Viper or separate Viper Venom, or if you have a Raspberry Pi already, you can put that into the standard 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade, and you have a nice little mini version of the full-size unit you have next to it. And then we still have the let's see, the 14 inch, the 26 inch and 14 inch are still available. Then we go down to the Mega Pack, which is the 19-inch FU plus the Glentendo hood and all the current control decks. Dual steering wheel, the Star Wars flight yoke, 3-inch trackball, the Akari Warrior dual sticks, the Tron with the push-pull, and the 1/6 scale Build-A-Cade. 31 have been purchased, leaving about 19 of 50 left on that one. And then with the Unico version of that, 46 have been purchased. Oh my God, there's only 4 left of the 26-inch with the Mega Pack. Wow, I really thought the 19-inch would go more than the 26-inch, but people really want that 26-inch. And again, the 26-inch does rotate, but it is manual. You need to pull it out and rotate it manually. But dang, only 4 left of that one. And then we have the Super Cabinet Pack, which is 2 Build-A-Cades. You get the 19-inch with the rotating screen, the 26-inch, and the Glentendo hood, and 11 of them backed of 50, so 39 left of that version. And that's really it. So you can see the FU is 68 inches tall, 23.7 inches depth, and 24 inches wide. Comes with that ultimate control panel that we've been selling already for the Arcade community. Real commercial coin door. Yes, you can put coins in it and register. Or you can use it just at pressing a button. But it's nice having a real coin door that opens up and you have the coins in there. We have a storage compartment for the decks. People ask me how many decks. I honestly think about 3 of the decks which fit in there, but it depends. Like the steering wheel deck is kind of big. Maybe if you take the steering wheels off, which you can do, you can probably make maybe 4 decks in there. And then there's also room in the back of the unit where you could put a full-size machine or use it for extra deck storage. Of course, we have the standard 19-inch auto rotation BOE screen, which is a 5:4 ratio screen. But then we have the 4.3 26-inch Unico. Again, both rotate, but the 19-inch is electronic. When you pick the game, it'll just turn and turn. With the 26-inch, would stay that way unless you physically turned it. The operating system will know you turned it though, but you have to turn it yourself. But honestly, I think most people will probably keep that in horizontal because you would still get a 19-inch screen in vertical games. Of course, you get that awesome Glentendo hood if you want to have that classic Glentendo style, if you will. We do have a built-in keyboard drawer. Just press in a little bit, the drawer will come out. You could put keyboard, mice in there, Sinden Target Pros, anything you want to put into those drawers. You have extra storage space there as well. Of course, we talked about the automatic screen rotation, 19-inch, the Viper Venom, which this video is mostly about, but I sidetrack a lot, the operating system. And of course, you get the TOS GRS gate restrictors. Again, all the different swappable control panels, just basically pull up, pull out, disconnect one USB cable in, down, and you are done and ready to rock. So that's it for this video. I hope you did like it. Again, more will be coming out. Want some more to know more about the Viper series and how to get games on there? I'll put a link down below to Wagners Tech Talks video. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Click the thumbs up for notifications as I do these videos and friends do videos. I'll make a notification of it here. If you're all on Facebook, we do have the official GRS FU fan page on Facebook. I'll put a link down below to that. And if you're interested in the standard Build-A-Cade, my good buddy Gary Campbell from Arcade Workshop designed that bad boy. He's got a Facebook group as well. I'll put a link down below as that. And again, you can always go over to the tSicks website. I'll put a link down below to that if you want to purchase some of the other things we already make, like the Akari Warrior Stick, Star Wars Yoke, and other things. We already have a machine. But with that being said, I really do appreciate all your time. I hope you had a great 4th of July holiday. I hope, well, you guys have a great day. And just remember, as fun as this is, and to me, this stuff is very fun. And I still am completely blown away of all the support I've gotten on this. But as fun as this is, remember, always tell family and friends that you love them. Because as fun as this is, it's just it's material things. It's not like living people. Nothing takes precedence over family and friends. Always make sure you tell them you love them. Because tomorrow is never promised. But in between those times, I thank you and game on.